I remember when I saw you at the stand, and I was like, "Wait, you're going where?" Have you always been like that?
Kinda, yeah. But I appreciated your take on it because it was like a more measured, like relaxed perspective, which I really needed at the time because it was like an onslaught of negativity.
Don't do it. Don't. Are you crazy?
Don't do it. Not worth it. Blah, blah, blah.
Why? What did I say?
You were like, yeah, dude, do it.
Where you been and where you going? This is Ari's travel show, yeah. We're gonna talk about travel today. It's You Be Trippin, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Be Trippin, an exciting new episode of a travel podcast where me and a guest go all over the world. It's the only podcast in Vladimir Putin's top 5 podcasts. Only American podcast on Vladimir Putin's top 5. Today's guest is a fucking well more traveled man than me, which is nice. Giulio Gallarotti.
What up?
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I've been trying to get you on here for a bit. Where are we going?
So we're going to Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
And dude, I will say this is a treat for me because I feel like more often than not, people don't care about this topic as much as I feel like they should.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, well, you're feeling yourself, DJ. Like, people want to hear what they want to hear, and that's it. So, like, when somebody really is interested and wants to take a deep dive, it's like such a treat. Like, even when I put my stuff out, like, it's a series of me making videos, putting them out, nobody watching them, and then me being really sad, and then like saving up a bunch of money and doing it again and rinse and repeat.
It's crazy. I mean, I can't tell you about the making money part, but the stuff out there, just a little clip I saw of, and I didn't even know you were doing them like that. I just thought you were going to go.
Oh no, I'm shooting like full length things.
What are they called?
I mean, this particular part of it is called Places You Can Go.
Places You Can Go.
So there's like a few episodes.
And that's to mean like you actually can go there.
I guess the theme is just sort of like going to places that you just assume you wouldn't be able to go to. I'm not suggesting that you necessarily should, depending on which place. However, it's certainly doable, and I would say lower risk than might meet the eye potentially.
I have two stories. This like real traveler lady I met. Now she's like an environmental activist, but I met her out somewhere, and she was talking about Iran, and I was like, "You can go to Iran?" She goes, "Oh, like I definitely wasn't the first person to react that way." And she goes, "You're thinking of like 3 of the 27 regions."
Oh, interesting.
And it's like, don't go to Southside Chicago.
Right.
But like near Wrigley, you're fine.
Interesting. That's cool.
And I was like, oh, and then the other question was like, can Jews go there? And it's like, oh, that I don't know.
Yeah.
There is a separate travel guide for Jews. And gays too, actually. Yes.
The gay part is easier to hide, obviously, and especially in these countries, dude. People are very men are very touchy-feely with each other. It's just such an interesting thing. You see these tough guys fucking holding hands, heavily armed, and it's a pretty interesting sight.
Wow.
Yeah, like Taliban dudes holding hands with each other.
What?
I'm not even kidding, dude. Frolicking around, which I do have a video of, actually. So these guys are...
Where'd you get this outfit?
Oh, you basically need that outfit if you're going to be over there. So they fit you up, and then you can buy more. But here, these are 2 Taliban guys.
Wow.
Holding hands.
I mean, that is Williamsburg.
Isn't that crazy?
What?
Isn't that crazy?
Where are you with the iron fence around?
So we're at this sports facility.
Yeah.
This is in Bamiyan, which is actually interesting. It's where the image on the map you pulled up is. That is a shell of this thing that used to be
This guy?
It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There was a giant Buddha in that cocoon at one point, and the Taliban destroyed it when they were, a little more backward than they currently are.
Wait, they're more forward now.
No, they're not forward by any means. But this is just Taliban progress, which should not be measured the way regular progress would be made. But at the time that they destroyed this, the sort of rationale was, when we go to heaven or whatever, God will be like, you couldn't even destroy a Buddha. Like, what the fuck are you like? You couldn't destroy a rock thing. I think that was sort of the official explanation at the time. Wow. I wonder if they would still do the same thing today. They might. This is in no way saying that the Taliban.
I wonder if they're like, we're just
way.
trying to show our like independence. Now that we're like, it was just an old relic.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like learning a bit more, and
better safe than sorry.
Probably easily still in the top 5 worst governments in the world. And, and by going there, I wasn't like, they're not that bad. Like, I feel that way still.
Well, okay, hold on. First of all, what was calling to you about Afghanistan?
Okay, so I guess is backstory appropriate?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I made a video in Africa in 2018.
Where?
In Rwanda. I did like a comedy festival and whatever, did a video. So, and
I do not think of comedy when I think of Rwanda, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was interesting. I read an article in in a political magazine saying how there was comedians, and I was like, oh, how interesting. So anyway, I messaged them and they invited me and we were going back and forth. And it was actually funny because they were suspicious of me.
Really?
Which should theoretically be the other way around. Remember that scam that was like your uncle died in Nigeria and he left you millions of dollars. So it's funny that it was the other way around. Long story short, I go last second. I invite my boy who now travels with me on all these trips and my other friend to film and help me put a thing together. And I remember just being shocked at how different it was than I thought it was going to be. So, and it might be obvious to some people, but to me, I was like, oh, last time I heard about this place was, the Civil War, Hotel Rwanda.
Yeah.
And here we are, and I'm doing all the stuff I do in New York, and this is so interesting. So anyway, from there, I kind of became interested in that topic.
Well, when was the Rwanda thing?
I did that in 2017, and it came out in 2020, I think, or maybe 2021. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
And I sort of, for years, tried to wrap my head around it. Ended up putting together this 8-9 minute thing.
Was that the first wild place you'd been, Rwanda?
No. Well, it depends what you mean by wild. I mean, I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Lebanon.
Okay. Wild.
That's probably
You're not. You're just Italian.
Yeah, I'm Italian.
Okay.
I had a Lebanese friend who was studying abroad in Jordan, and his parents were like, "Hey, he's lonely. If we pay, would you go?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Hell yes. Hell yes.
I was 23 or 24, so I went there for a month, and then I went all around. So anyway, I had sort of the itch to because that feeling when you're somewhere so different, how special that is. So anyway. I became fascinated with the idea of here's a place that people are telling me I'm going to die if I go to, and lo and behold, it could not be further from the truth. Rwanda is the safest place ever. You can easily go Rwanda, and even
alone.
Dude, it's 100 times safer than New York, and that may not be a good thing. It maybe there's too much. They have too good of a grip on stuff.
Yeah, right. Right.
And maybe don't say anything bad about the government. But
but for some of these things,
zero.
they talk about that as a reason, but it's that doesn't impede. So they shit on Mayor Adams for whatever. But when they bring up the school system, that doesn't affect me at all. But he said he was going to fix up the parks, and they all have a lot more flowers this year. So from what I'm seeing, bang up job.
Nice,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's the same thing with China. Just don't talk about the government. I don't know anything about the government.
Right.
All right.
No intention of doing that. And it isn't one of those things where they're going to be wrong, because that's a stressful thing if they think you're a spy or something. Rwanda's not like that. Booming tourism. Kigali is a metropolitan city.
Wow.
There's dating apps. There's Uber Eats. There's ride sharing.
Oh,
and
damn!
This
way
was
different than anyone was
2017,
expecting.
bro. This is a while ago too. So I was single at the time. I was going on Tinder dates. I was having the time of my life. So anyway, so fun, and I was like, that's crazy. I wonder if this is what it's like in general everywhere. So from there, I started making these videos. So I did that one, and it's funny. I was actually gonna let that one die because I finally put it together. It sucked. The audio sucked. This, that.
Right.
I share it. No one's watching it. I'm depressed. That a random Sunday afternoon, Schultz happens to see it and share it. And it did super well, relatively speaking. And if he had not done that, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about this.
Whoa!
Which just goes to show how fickle things can be,
And that's cool. It keeps living.
So anyway,
it's not an air date.
I end up pushing it to the limit here to some degree. Where I went to Iraq, I went here, I went there, and it was sort of the same story everywhere that I went.
Yeah.
So I was I wonder if Afghanistan will be the same thing. And while much more chill in a lot of ways than you would expect. Potentially bit off slightly more than I could chew in some capacity.
Really?
In some scenarios.
So you land at the airport. Are you met with any instant well, I'd say it's always the smell is different, the signs are different. What do you see? That's already oh.
Yeah. So okay, first of all, there's a bullet hole in the thing that you get off the whatever that thing's called.
The tarmac? No, the gate.
Whatever.
The thing that comes to push you.
Yeah, the thing that comes to the
tube. Yeah.
It was exactly the tube, bullet hole in the tube, which
really
I can show you as well. Would take me a second to find it, but I mean, it's a bullet hole.
Okay, you can just send it to me.
What's that?
You can send it to me. I'll like write these down.
Yeah, and I can even send you like a file of the video itself because all this stuff is in the video. So then you can easily just like rip whatever you want.
Okay.
So anyway, bullet hole, like, okay, that's crazy, but whatever. Obviously, it's cool to look on the map, see where you are. You're like, this is nuts. But then it depends on where you are. Like some places are prickly, but they're developed. You know what I mean?
In Afghanistan?
In general. So like, for example, Guayaquil is a place that comes to mind for me.
Guayaquil, yeah.
And I know you helped me with my Ecuador trip and I appreciate that. But Guayaquil is like nice, but it's just like dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Like I was driving.
Too much gangs. It's
so
worse
many gangs.
now.
Like there's like a yoga studio. There's like sushi restaurant, but there's gangs. So that's like different than what this is like. Afghanistan is just like behind. It's traditional. They've had war during the entire time the modern world modernized. So they're just behind. So when you get there, it's a much more lax process than it would be landing in Russia, where if there's a letter wrong in your name, you can't enter the country. In Afghanistan, not like that. That happened to me in Russia, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. Got detained. It was a pain in the ass. But here it's chill. You get there, some guy helps you.
Where'd you land? Kabul?
Kabul, yeah.
Kabul.
From via Dubai, which by the way, hilarious juxtaposition of the most modern place in the Muslim world going to the least modern place in the Muslim world in a 12-hour period of time.
Damn.
Pretty cool.
But they all break for fucking bow downs?
Here?
Everywhere?
Yeah. But it's not like, I mean, it's the most heavily concentrated Muslim population of any country on earth as percentage of the population.
Really?
99.8 or 99.7%.
Oh, wow.
Muslim. Yeah.
You know what the most Muslims total country?
Indonesia.
Boom, got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
India number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
India number 2?
I believe so.
Oh, wow, okay.
I might be wrong about that, but anyway, so it's cool because so you need a visa to go here, which is also a funny thing. I feel like I didn't even know what a visa was until I was like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Because like
you just go. Can we go?
Right. Most places you'd be going to, you don't need a visa. So anyway, you need a visa to go here. It's not that hard to get. It seems more difficult to get than it is. There's a Afghan consulate in Dubai that is still the same people who worked there during the old government.
Wow.
Really?
They're just stationed there and like no one called them home.
They just live there and they're not going back.
Why would you?
Yeah.
And maybe like, it's rich here.
Some sort of fear of retribution, maybe. I'm not totally sure, but it's super easy and they treat you really, really well too. Like you land at sort of an awkward time. And my guy was like, oh, you should have let me know last time, or you should have let me know because I would have booked your hotel for you so that you could have just checked in when you arrived. So they show up, they take your passport, and then they come back in 3 hours and you have your visa.
Oh, okay.
And then the flights to Kabul at the time were like pretty gnarly. The times, it was like there was a 3 a.m. and a 4:30 a.m. out of Dubai to Kabul. And you land as sort of the sun is rising over.
It's like they know. Oh, damn, I got snow. It's like they know that people are just jumping off from this place to another place. So, like, you're going to want to land at 5 p.m. and not 2 a.m.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They figure it out for you. So, anyway, that makes it a whole, like, even more sort
exhausted when you land.
You're exhausted, but you're also sort of feel like you're dreaming. It's such a. Now I think Fly Dubai flies there, which is a better airline than Cam Air, but Cam Air's fine.
Yeah.
That was sort of like the national airline.
Guys, I'm going to break in real quick to let you know a little bit about Giulio. He is, first of all, like Hall of Fame comedian travelers. Like when he told me, I didn't realize what he was doing. And he first told me, he's like, I'm going on a trip. I'm like, where? He goes, Iraq. I'm like, what? Yeah, he went to Iraq. He called me to ask me about Ecuador since I lived there for so long and I gave him some advice. But I thought he was like a resort kind of person. And he was like, no, not at all. I mean, you talk about getting your hands dirty. It's him, bro. I mean, I'm going to have him back on this podcast like 30 times. The guy rules. And he's got a new, I don't know if it wouldn't be called a special. I guess it's a documentary about Afghanistan. It's called On the Map. It's available at his YouTube channel, youtube.com/@notgiulio. It's Julio. Definitely check it out. His trip to Afghanistan, this whole episode is fucking wild. I mean, he really goes for it. And he's learned so much about like the hijab and how they don't really have to wear it. No, yeah, it's just a ton. He rules. He's also on the road. You get tickets at Giulio Gallarotti, GIULOGALLAROTTI.com/pound shows. He's going to be at the Den in Chicago, Comedy Connection in Providence, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Washington, D.C., at the Comedy Loft. That place rules. And Charlotte, North Carolina. Get all tickets right now. Myself, I'm also on the road. I've got Schaumburg, Illinois with Adrian Appalucci. Shows added there. Then Atlanta and Portland with Adrian. Atlanta at the Tabernacle. I'm fucking super stoked on that. That's where Joe Rogan recorded one of his specials, and I've been trying to get there for my entire career. So get tickets for Atlanta, Georgia right now. San Jose, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, and finishing it, that's through April, and then finishing it off with Anchorage, Alaska for my last show until 2027, excuse me. The farewell tour for arishaffir.com. Also, we are continuing to take submissions for the Be Trippin trip around the world, where we're sending somebody, maybe you, around the world. Send in your why you think it should be you. You know, if you have time off, if you really want to go see things, and why you want to do it my way. It's going to be off the grid a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask that much of you. I'm going to ask you to weigh in a little bit, like once every month or so. Find a computer at a hostel and just like send us updates. But if you want to go, either send a DM to @UBeTrippinPod on Instagram, or you can email UBeTrippinPodcast@gmail.com. Caitlin here will be checking the DMs and the and the messages. However you want to do it, guys. She's open to anything, either video or audio of like while you have free time. It's going to be like 10 months to a year. So you got to have free time. You got to say why you want to go. And just like, I don't know, why you should be the person we send. She's going to be leafing through them, getting rid of all the chuds. Do you have any suggestions for what they should say?
Don't be a loser influencer. We don't want that. Yeah,
no loser influencers. And then, guys, it's going to be a great time. So that's it. Thank you, Caitlin, for leafing through all those. And we'll figure it out in like a couple months. Also, if you want to sign up for the Patreon to help me finish off paying for it, it's patreon.com/@UBeTrippin, and then we'll wrap up the Patreon. That's it. Also send DMs if no, that's it. Great. Thank you. Let's get back to the episode.
Oh, I took a break from the break to tell you that Giulio has a special out, guys, on the map for Giulio Gallarotti. It's at his YouTube page, youtube.com/@NotJulio, because everyone spells his name wrong. NOTJULIO. On the map. Come see the new special from the new... Oh, crap, I'm moving. Oh, comedy's version of Anthony Bourdain, not Julio. Watch it now, guys. A new special. It's the most exciting thing in our lives. Legitimately. Go get it right now. There'll be a link at the bottom of this on YouTube and on Spotify and everything. So go support all comics.
You land, and then your guide picks you up, which I highly recommend if you intend to do this trip. I'm not recommending it.
How much was the guide?
I think it was probably like $200 per person per day. And there was two of us.
Wow, that's a lot.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
But they hold your hand for 24 hours. And Afghanistan is probably the cheapest place I've ever been.
What? How'd you find him?
I'm in this like Facebook group that sort of helps pair extreme travelers with guides, and or it mostly talks about solo travel, which we were talking about this before we started recording. Solo travel to me is overrated. Like, I don't mind having a guide holding my hand.
I see what you're saying.
Especially in a place like this. Like, dude, if you were to do this trip by yourself,
and
it might be a little different now. I went at the end of 2022, but like, you're gonna just be hanging out with the Taliban the whole day.
What do you mean?
So you'll get stopped by the Taliban if they hear you talking. One fun fact about Afghanistan, super diverse. So if you or I were to walk around and not talk, no one would think we weren't from Afghanistan. Isn't that cool?
Really?
Yeah.
Because there's just different shades?
Dude, like everything. Like, there's redheads.
Really?
Dude.
Why? Because like the Russians stayed after enough years?
No, I just think it's not an Arab country. There's a mix of ethnicities. So it's like Pashto people. There are sort of Tajik people, Uzbek people.
Uzbek, yeah. It's
Hazara people.
Wow.
It's a big mix. So there's a bunch of different people. They all look
borders
different.
were almost up against, or does it border against China?
There is one part
like
that does
right
the
here?
walk-in corridor right there. Yeah. That's a really beautiful part of the country. And to be honest, that was a place people would go before because you could sort of cross the border there and it wouldn't really be like a traditional Afghanistan experience.
Walk-in National Park. That seems
dude.
fucking badass.
Crazy mountains.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of the best mountains in the world.
Damn.
Yeah. Sick, right?
Yeah. You went there?
No.
Okay.
That's a more expensive trip to go up there. Before you could cross the land border from Tajikistan, if you did like the Pamir Highway, which is like a really fun outdoorsy mountain trip you could take. But I don't know that that's still a possibility. I'm not totally sure.
Oh, right. So, okay. So you get there. So this guy's taking you around.
So
wait, no, I'm sorry. You were going to tell me if you go alone, you're just going to be talking to Taliban.
Yeah,
the
you're
whole
just
time.
going to hang out with the Taliban the whole day.
What does that mean?
So like if they hear you speak English or they'll be like, they check your passport. They're like, oh, you're American. And they sort of just like don't know if they're supposed to do something. So instead of just letting you go, they take you to the police station and they'll be cool to you. Like they'll let you play with their gun. They'll give you tea. They'll be all nice and shit. But you're just going to be there all day till
You're like, I want to go walk around.
Till their boss is like, no, let this guy go. He's a foreigner. Like we're nice to foreigners now. And then they're like, listen, if anything you need, let us know. If you want to become a Muslim, that'll make the mullahs really happy. Just saying, you don't have to, but if you want, that'll be sick.
Let me just throw this out there for them.
Here's my number if you need anything. And you're like, okay,
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not that intimidating.
If you want who's Akbar? It is Allah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They make you do the whole. Is that an actual thing? No, there is like a thing like that.
What do you mean?
There's like this. I forget what it's called, and I don't want to say it wrong. But there's this like thing you're supposed to say that means that you like recite a thing.
That you're cool with everybody?
No, it's like an Islam thing.
And they tell you to say it?
You say it, and they film you, and it's like weird. I didn't do that, but it's a thing that I've heard that people have to do.
It's like a Star Spangled Banner. They just say it when you get in here.
Sort of. It's like sort of like a Star Spangled Banner for Islam. But dude, so if you know that that's a possibility before you go, and if you have a guide, it's fine. So for the most part, that encounter's not as intimidating as it sounds, besides the initial suspicion, which very quickly turns warm. But we did have some prickly moments too, but I guess we can sort of get into that a little later. Since you want to, so you land, you meet the guide. They got to suit you up in the local clothing.
What do they do? Take you to a store to get all that?
They already bought you an outfit.
Okay.
Which, by the way, my guy only got me one. I'm like, bro, I'm not wearing this for 10 straight days. Like,
no, you'll smell like us. It'll be great.
Yeah, exactly. We need to go shopping for clothes. So we did that day. I bought like 5 different outfits.
So no one's there with just jeans and a t-shirt?
Only people who are working or children.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
So they tell you to get that.
I don't even think it's the rule. It was just like weird. It would be like you wearing a blanket instead of clothes here.
When I was in Chiang Mai, they were trying to make a thing to all the tourists, like, hey, it's not a beach town. So don't treat it like a beach town. This is a walled old city. And they're like, you wouldn't walk around like New York City with no shirt on. And I'm like, actually, I do that all the time. I will get good weird looks, but that's a bad example because I'm doing that constantly.
That's funny. Where is that on the beach?
What?
Chiang Mai?
No. But the people treat it like a beach town because they're like on vacation.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I gotta go there, dude.
Okay, so you get this outfit.
You get suited up, and then you sort of just fucking hit the streets, dude. We had a plan. So when I go on these kind of trips, I try to make sure that I sort of know what's good on for the camera now at this point versus what isn't. So like, I want to try my best to integrate with people as much as possible. I feel like that makes for better content than just like, this is where Genghis Khan went once. This is a museum.
That's a tour guide. That's like a Lonely Planet book. It's not. I'm not interested in it as much.
Agreed. I'm down, but
fun fact. Okay, sure. I don't
Exactly.
mind a fun fact, but
You're good.
okay.
Inevitably along the way, like interesting things will happen at all these places. Like I've found that the museum experience in these kind of countries can be pretty unique because it's just so fucking random. Like some random dude will like hijack you and try to chill with you the whole day and like show you every single thing in the museum. Like it can be funny,
Wow.
but in general, so I'm trying to like,
Crooked bro.
yeah. I try to push. You have to push sometimes because the guides don't understand that you don't want to do like the bucket list, like British person trip.
Right.
And I say British person trip because I think they are the most adventurous group of people as far as like destinations visited.
Oh, interesting.
This is like a pretty unique meal that they made me. They cook chicken in the ground with like hot rocks. I've seen stuff like this in South America too, but and they put chicken in cloth.
Yeah.
They heat it up. It's really fucking good. It's called huluhi.
Huluhi?
Yeah.
Wow.
This ended up being one of the worst days of my life, actually. This was,
Why?
This was a nice morning. So, okay.
That's so great. You have this great nice morning, and you're like, it's gonna be pretty shitty.
So okay, we were supposed to leave early. We can just, unless you have any specific questions, I can tell you the story. It's
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we go over this guy, the guide's uncle's house for breakfast, and we have this chicken that is cooked in the ground. They tie the chicken up in silk and put it in this hot stone hole. They bash the rocks, let it sit there for 40 minutes.
Why do they bash the rocks?
Because the heat, it like makes the heat sort of like a heat mound over it. And then, so anyway, we do this and we get started late because of that. We were driving from here to Mazar-e Sharif, which is a city in the northern part of the country. I had heard that this drive is sort of perilous. It lived up to the hype, and we got started so late that we ended up having to drive at night, which they say don't do in Afghanistan, and we sort of found out why.
Yeah, why?
Let me get you there.
Okay.
So the Google Maps to where I was going says it only takes 2.5 hours because not enough people have driven the route for the Google Maps.
Dude, Google Maps sucks in not well trodden. It's just like in Ecuador we're like double. Double it, and that means like, well, we're not going to make it one day. Like, no, you're right. So think of a place to stay.
Dude, 100%. So this drive takes 12 hours.
What? And it's a 2.5?
Yeah.
What?
So, and I'll show you. I have video of this too, which I'll show you. But dude, so this drive sucks.
From where to where?
So, okay, you're driving from roughly, just for all intents and purposes, because I ended up starting a school while I was there, and I'm trying to hide the location. Yeah. So.
What do you mean you started a school?
Yeah.
Founded a school?
Yeah.
What are they teaching? Crushing it?
They're teaching science, math, English, and literacy, and boys and girls, all ages, legally operating.
What?
I started a charity. Yeah. I know. Crazy, right?
What?
Yeah, I know. It's nuts.
What are you talking about?
I know. I have a bunch of video of that too. I can show you.
Oh, so you don't want to get the location of it?
Yeah. So just say, for all intents and purposes, Kabul to Mazar-e Sharif.
Okay.
I think it should take you the similar way.
Let's see. Mazar-e Sharif.
Mazar. It'll come up. Yeah, there it is.
Mazar-e Sharif. Okay.
Yeah. So that. I think,
it caught up a little now.
Oh,
it knows now that you've traveled it. Now it knows it's 8 hours.
8?
Still 24.
So it takes about 3 or 4 hours to get to this Salang tunnel.
Okay.
And you have to drive past the Panjshir Valley. There's sort of like an active insurgency.
Oh.
There's some
is that happening? Is it like groups trying to overthrow each other?
Yeah, there's a little bit of it. There's like ISIS. There's more suicide bombings in Afghanistan every year, sort of 3 or 4-fold over everywhere else. So it's just like not great.
It's just their way.
The Taliban have a stronghold on the country, but they are fighting ISIS and they're fighting. But it's not like a full-on civil war. I would say it's more of just sort of like a simmering insurgency between them and then some of the other like groups that used to be in control or whatever.
That's interesting. ISIS and the Taliban are enemies.
Yes, very much so.
Interesting. Hey guys, today's episode of You Be Trippin' is brought to you by mudwater.com. Do you ever get the jitters from coffee? I know I do. I drink cup after cup after cup, so much that my pinky, I can't do it right now, starts shaking, and I have all these A's written into my documents. It's just A all the time. Yeah, I'm fucked up. I don't handle situations well. Well, there's an alternative for you. It's mudwater.com. Each ingredient in Mudwater serves a purpose. With organic ingredients for clean, natural boost. Mudwater's smooth, earthy flavor provide a delicious and natural source of energy. The OG blend contains cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine and hot chocolate-like flavor. Lion's mane for focus. And one thing I need is focus. Yeah, you should see me. Actually, on this podcast, constantly losing my train of thought and interrupting a great story. I'm a terrible host because I don't drink Mudwater when I should. Cordials helps promote natural energy and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. Does your 3 p.m. cup of coffee make you stay awake at night contemplating life choices and the meaning of existence? That's not bad. Guys, whoever wrote that, it's pretty fucking good. You ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to mudwater.com and grab your starter kit today. Right now, my listeners get an exclusive deal Up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use the code TRIPPIN. That's right, up to 43% off with code TRIPPIN at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, ask how you found them. Please show your support. Let them know I sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mud/WTR, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy. Let's get back to the episode. I remember when it shifted over, where like we hate ISIS and like we hate the Taliban. I was like, oh, is that just another way to say the same thing?
Yeah,
Al Qaeda.
No. Yeah, so a Taliban, the problem with the Taliban is they sort of allow some of these groups to sort of do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And it's uniquely the only place like that. So that is the problem. The Taliban don't really have imperial aspirations, but they allow some of these groups to operate there. Dude, I got to be honest, after meeting a lot of these guys, and maybe this isn't a good example, but like, I think that a lot of it has to do with just like naivete and like incompetence over bad intentions.
Oh my God. What do you mean?
Like, they're just like, dude, they're like mountain fucking people. They don't know anything. Like, they've been hiding in the mountains for years. Once they like took the country back over, they came down from the mountains and they were all getting into car accidents because none of them know how to drive.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. And dude, we'd be driving down this road and the guide would casually be like, oh yeah, this is a place where there'd be a Taliban sniper up there, and he was just like shooting people who drove by and killing them. And this guy I know, he just got shot in the head, and then they killed this other guy for no reason. Like, and he's like, but they have changed this a bit. But like, it wasn't him vouching for them. It was just him being like, they don't do that anymore, but
They're still shitty, but
they're
not quite.
They're very shitty still, but they're not as bad. So anyway, from where we were to this tunnel, it's probably 4 or 5 hours, and this drive is the scariest drive I've ever been on. This Salang tunnel, I want to say it's like 10,000 feet in the air or something. It is 6 miles long. There's
6 mile long tunnel.
Yep. It's one of the highest mountain tunnels in the world. If you look up Salang Tunnel, you just look at it. It looks like a hellhole. I'll show you the video. I have a video of it.
Oh yeah, show me the video.
No ventilation, and cars just break down in it. You could fucking die. The Soviets built this tunnel. Let's go pull up this video.
Wow, the Soviets built it.
Bro, it is the scariest thing. Yeah.
It's so cool. They can build a fucking tunnel through a mountain.
And that road is so shit. Like, it's so bumpy and bouncy and terrible. And like
in it,
like getting there, getting out of it, in it, it is like nightmare fuel. And I think now that the dust has settled, one of the scariest, like the way back, it was fine because there was no traffic.
Yeah.
But on the way there, we got stuck in a fuck ton of traffic, and it was really scary. Here we go.
Treacherous. Oh my God, these are cool videos, man.
Thanks, dude.
Salang Tunnel halfway through there.
Dude.
It's from one region to another.
Look how scary that is.
Oh my God, there's no lights in there?
That car's broken down.
What? In one lane in either direction under a mountain.
Yeah, through, like, not under a mountain. You're 10,000 feet in the air. You're like high elevation, scary shit. The way back, there was no traffic, but on the way there, we were stuck in there for 20 minutes. And there are these giant coal trucks that are going back and forth from Pakistan.
Oh my God.
That are disgusting, and they're like, they jingle. It's almost like, dude, full on nightmare fuel.
Wow. And then you get out, you're like, finally.
Yeah, super fucked up, man. So anyway,
how much is food there? How much you spend in a day on food?
oh my God, dude, you can eat an awesome meal for 5 people. Everybody drinks soda and shit. There's no alcohol, obviously, but like ordering sodas, 4 entrees for everybody, it'll be like $8 total.
What?
Yeah, it's a pack of cigarettes, 10 cents.
What?
Everybody drinks energy drinks there, which is pretty funny, including like you'll see like a 5-year-old drinking a Red Bull. Like, Jesus Christ. Which I have here.
Oh, really?
They're kind of like, a lot of them are like
cool.
knockoff, but yeah, you'll see
Got a
like,
bull on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The X-Bull. And it's Chicago. Yeah, it's a Chicago Bulls bull. What are you smoking?
smoking a cig. Just like a long, thin cigarette, 10 cents a pack.
Do people offer you cigarettes there?
No, I think smoking is sort of like slightly frowned upon. The Taliban don't like vice stuff. So like they tried to sort of make all the opium addicts, like they sent them all to rehab when they took over. They don't like smoking. If you ask for a drink, people look at you like you're fucking insane.
No drinks.
No drinking.
You know Yoshi?
No.
I got to get him on. He'll be the only other one that'll do Afghanistan. He went to Kabul when it was a were those people that worked for the U.S. government?
Oh, like defense contractors?
Yeah, contractor town. And so the front lines was like 10 miles past, so they were safe there. And then when they left, they're like, guys, it's time you got to get out of here. So that city doesn't exist anymore. But he was like, can I bring anything? They're like, Jack Daniels. Bring us 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, and we can have a bar for a month.
That's sick.
And then super watered down mixtures, no straight shots.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Dude. That's sick. So, yeah.
So wait, so you could eat like a fucking king?
Oh, yeah.
What was the food?
It was good. It was sort of like a combination. It was like a mixture of like what you think Indian food would be like and sort of like Middle Eastern food.
Okay.
Good bread. It's a little rustic. You know, the chickens will have bones in it that you didn't know were in chickens because you're used to eating fucking GMO chickens, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, the food's pretty good. South Asia is like a pretty big hotbed for food poisoning. So I was like really cautious. I ended up getting sick anyway, but like...
Cautious of what?
Food poisoning.
All of it.
So I just didn't eat a lot and I ate slow and I was fine while I was there. And then when I got back to Dubai, I got really sick and I was sick on the plane, which sucked.
Ah, shit. You can't go anywhere. It's the vegetables they always tell you to be careful of.
I was on the flight when it hit me though.
Wow.
Laying in the bathroom shirtless on the floor of the bathroom.
Shirtless.
On the plane.
Why shirtless?
Because I don't know, it just makes me feel better.
Yeah, sure. You need the air. You can't question it. During food poisoning, you can't question your motives.
Yeah, don't care.
You don't want to get it on you. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, we get out of this tunnel.
Sir, do you need help? Yes, desperately, but you
Please
can't
help
give
me.
it to me.
Dude, also...
You're some stewardess. Get the fuck away from me.
They were not very nice. They're like, go to the bathroom in the front of the plane so you don't disrupt the other passengers. I was like, oh my God.
I'm dying, bro.
No, it was Emirates flight too. I was like, I thought you guys were
really?
nicer. Yeah.
They're hot.
Well, anyway, so we get out of the tunnel. We're fine. I'm like feeling pretty good. And we still have quite a bit of driving. We get on some solid road. It starts to get dark.
Oh.
We get stopped by the Taliban. Now, usually when you get stopped by the Taliban, it's fine. Like during the day, they just look around. They don't suspect that anybody in the car is a foreigner. They just let you keep going. If they find out you're a foreigner, they don't believe it at first. Then they find...
Why? Because not a lot are in that region?
There's never a foreigner, ever.
And so did your guide be like, hey, just be quiet. I'm going to do the talking?
Yeah.
But if they asked him straight up, these guys foreigners, he'd be like, yes.
Yeah, he'd be like, they're American. And they'd be like, no way. And he'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, show the passport. And then he'd show the passport. And dude, I swear to God, a lot of times there'd be like a 16-year-old kid. And they look at the passport and they're just like... Like they're so happy. They can't believe there's an American. And they're like, oh, they think that means that they're like doing a good job. So then they're like, we got to take a selfie. So then you take a selfie with them. And then they're like, anything you need, let us know. Like they're so excited.
But also like, how am I going to call in that favor?
Oh yeah, dude. You don't want to call
what's
that.
your name?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll call you.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Let you know I need a good chicken spot in fucking this next town.
Yeah, exactly. So that's usually just what would happen. So it ended up being fine, and it wasn't even that like scary.
They were happy to see you. You were American. They were
So
excited
happy.
that it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Once they like rule out that you're not a soldier, which is ridiculous that they even need to do that. But the fact that you go through that every time is not the best, to be honest. You're just sort of like, hopefully this will be fine, like it always has been. We get stopped at night at this one particular.
Yeah. Was there any
checkpoint.
worry of like, well, an American killed my dad, and I've always wanted to meet one of you motherfuckers?
Do you want to know why? No, because they are able to be like, oh, you didn't literally kill my dad. You're just some random guy.
We can't do that.
Which I know. I've always been impressed by that. And that's typically what I've gotten traveling in these sort of places.
And Vietnam was like that about America, like hate America. Like, no, they hate China. Like China helped them then, but now they're like trying to encroach.
Right.
No American is bothering them currently.
Right.
Wow.
I appreciate the pragmatism there. So anyway, we get stopped. They make us get out of the car, which is normal. But then they'll like sit on the side of the road with us and have dinner. And we're like, okay, we hadn't really had to do that.
Can't say no.
No, you can't say no. And dude, 6 or 7 guys, so heavily armed. I was too afraid to film this part, but I made a cartoon that's like kind of long, so I'm not going to show it to you here, but I'll send it to you later if you're interested. Okay. But then they had a giant container, a Gatorade container full of beans. That said Gatorade on it, like
full of beans.
Yes, the one you like pour on the coach, like. And then they're like, "Sorry, we only have beans," and I was like, "It's fine, dude. Like, all good." And they're feeding us beans, and then we're talking, blah blah blah. They're asking us all the same questions. They're like, "What do you think about the Taliban?" And I have to lie. You know what I mean? I'm like, I think they're great. Like, just insane. And then they're like, wow, that's so cool. Then they're like, you need to meet the commander. And we're like, okay, great. Like, where is he? They're like, he's like over there.
This is nighttime. So this not happen during the day?
Pitch dark. Dude.
Anyway, go ahead.
No. So something like this
Jesus.
wouldn't happen during the day.
Yeah.
They kind of hang around, bro, almost like a gang. You know how like a gang will like hang out at night? They just sit there and don't do anything
Stoop talk.
until there's gang activity to be had. This is sort of how they operate too. And they are not a gang, by the way. They basically are a gang.
Whoa.
So anyway, so we're sitting there, and then they're like, you have to go meet the commander. The commander is not close. So they send their guy with us in our car, and they follow us, and we drive to the commander. This is an hour drive out of the way. It's nighttime already. So and this guy has a fucking gun. So this sucks. This whole thing is scary already, right? We get out of the car. We're at this like compound, Taliban compound. And we walk in, the commander, oh, welcome, blah, blah, blah. He has his deputy who speaks English, who's super nice. This guy's sort of nice, but he's sort of being like the alpha dog. You have no choice but sit there, listen to him. The guide is showing him videos of my stand-up.
Really?
He's like, look, he's a comedian. The guy has no idea what he's looking at. He's like, oh.
English? Not really?
That guy didn't speak English, just the deputy.
Wow.
So we're sitting there for a long time, and eventually the dude who searched us in the parking lot comes in with my suitcase, throws it on the ground, and is like, we're going to search you. And I was like, oh, I thought we were friends. He's like, we are. That's why you're going to search yourself.
That's why what?
That's why you're going to search yourself. So, by the way, and I know like people listening to this story are probably like, good, this is what you get. Like, fair. I didn't want this to happen. I wasn't searching for this sort of thing. This is not a thing.
Oh yeah, it's like when they said like some like real celebrity, they're like, that's what you get. You get like you're trying to break up with your wife, and some waiter gonna come for your picture. Like that's not what they wanted.
Right. This is not what I intended. So I'm showing them every single thing in my bag. So I'm like, this is a sock. This is underwear. Like literally.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I go in my toiletry bag. I'm like, these are Tums. The commander's like, what's that? I'm like, like indigestion. The guide can't translate the word indigestion. So I'm like, like I'm doing.
They don't have that.
And he's like, oh. So I'm like, I give him Tums and he eats them. He's like, oh, these are, I'm like, they're pretty good, right, dude? Like Tums smoothies, the good shit. He's eating them. He's loving it. So they don't find anything. We go in the parking lot and we're just standing in the dark in the driveway, which at this point I'm like, this is closer to some of the scenarios that are really not that fun to think about
That you had heard
than
about.
I would like to be.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm a few, even if I'm 10 steps away, I'd rather be 100 steps away. I'm fine probably right now, but like this is not fun.
But also like at this point, you're not really in control.
Yes,
They're in
and the
control.
guide isn't either,
Right.
which was scary.
They're in control.
The guide did not want this to be happening. And he was acting like it was fine. And like after we left, he was like, I'm so sorry. And like he wasn't giving off that vibe while we were there, which made it even scarier. I was like, oh, fuck. Like you had no control over this situation.
So we went to Canada. We were doing a bus tour, and our last stop was Toronto. And we were like, hey, let's Clorox everything. Let's do whatever. Let's make sure the drugs are gone, even the weed, but definitely the coke. Like,
Right.
definitely. And then they're like, the bus driver's like, they should just generally like, just kind of take a look at our passports and leave. They might step on, but that's it. And then this time they're like, oh, they're kind of going through the bus. They're asking us to open it up. And the bus driver's like, this usually doesn't happen. He's like, you guys got rid of everything, right? And I was like, yeah. And then Colin was like, I mean, I put it on my bed.
I put it under the pillow.
And like, no, Colin, what the fuck, man? It should be fine. Like, what are you doing?
Oh,
And
no.
so then it's like, at that point, it's nothing like this. It's out of control. And we just would be refused entry.
And you hear this story about like a tour bus all the time.
All the time, yeah.
The amount of people who get taken down because of their tour bus,
Right.
it's a high number. So you're like, fuck. But yeah, some like related.
Oh my God, out of your control.
Out of my control. Now we
But
were
also, there's no chance of us getting lined up and shot
right
before.
And-
It's like, whoa, no, wait, we can talk. It's like, no, we're taking care of it now.
yes. So
Damn.
and in my head, I'm like, okay, I know that that's not happening now. But you always sort of worry about the chain of command there because there is a chance that you run into a guy who like didn't get the memo yet.
Or
Mind
you look the wrong guy in the eye. You're like, why did you?
Bro.
I don't know the customs.
you don't know what's up. This is only a year after they had taken over. So there's a chance that the messaging had not gotten there, bro. This is like a very traditional place. Like you wouldn't like, it's not shocking to think that a guy might not get the memo for a while. Whoa. So you're kind of like, this kind of sucks. And these guys, picture the scariest Taliban guy you can picture. This is who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Most of them are being nice, whatever. But now we're in the driveway. In the house, it was nice. We're drinking tea, but there's like the walls. Imagine this room, but just the walls lined with giant guns, bro. Including like the gun from Heat, the like Val Kilmer double handle, like artillery, bro. Crazy.
Those American weapons?
I'm not totally sure.
Yeah,
I think it was a combo. There's probably Kalashnikovs. There's probably a combo of everything. And then they finally find an envelope of money. And I'm like, oh, this is like what was happening. So I tried to be clever. I spread my money out just in case so that they couldn't take it all. But that ended up working against me because the envelope that was in my iPad, they don't know about an iPad. So they didn't know to open the case. So they go, okay. I'm like, this is an iPad. They're like, all right. They never would have found that. They end up finding the envelope that has the most money in it too.
Oh, fuck.
And you need a lot of money when you visit Afghanistan. You can't take money out of the bank, obviously. And they only exchange new issue hundreds. And if they aren't perfectly crisp, you get a worse exchange rate.
Wow.
Which is interesting, right?
They do that in a lot of places.
Yeah, crazy.
Sometimes they just go, no. You're like, what do you mean
Yeah,
no?
what
You're
the
not
fuck are
taking
you
it?
talking about?
It's a
Yeah.
20. Like,
Nope, sorry.
Good luck with that.
So anyway, they find the money. They count all of it. And the guy has his boy record him counting it. And then when he's done counting it, he hands it back to me, turns off the camera. He's like, I just didn't want you to be able to tell anybody that I took money from you. I'm like, okay, that's nice, I guess.
Wait. I didn't want you to tell anyone that I took money from you.
I didn't want
so
you
he could be like,
to be able to.
here's your money back.
Yep.
Oh, but he's about to steal it.
Well, counts it all, hands it back to me, and goes, I don't want you to be able to tell anybody we took money from you. Then he goes, but what about a donation?
However, I am taking money
I'm
from
like,
you.
very clever. So then I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like all this money's about to be gone.
Shakedown. Yeah.
Shakedown.
Are you thinking
suck.
like, how much can I keep?
I'm thinking he's taking it all.
Yeah.
And
You're not in control.
the school plan had just sort of popped up earlier that day. So a lot of this money was supposed to go to starting the school. Now they take the money. There's no school. Probably.
What?
Right? So I'm like, fuck. Then, dude, this is the funniest part. He goes, I'm like, how much does he want? It was $5,000. He goes,
$5,000?
$5,000.
Well, that's going to be a life changer for him.
He goes, $100? I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, just 100. And I was like, yes, absolutely. Like, yeah, there you go. And then he goes, no, don't give it to me. Give it to him. And I give it to the guy. Everybody in the driveway is looking down at the ground because they're all embarrassed, bro.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to do this, which is why he didn't take it. He asked for it. And there's all these things you're not supposed to do. He's not supposed to be doing this.
And they all felt like, this is shitty.
They're like, this is shitty. If this guy's boss found out, he'd be in trouble. At the time, you can't process all this. You're just happy.
Also, for $100, you're not going to be like, no, you don't get this.
Oh, dude.
Fine, call him. Call the general. Wake him up.
And I was told later that if I had said no, that it would have been fine. Which I'm like, bro.
But how are you going to know?
What the fuck are you talking about? So anyway, I give the guy $100, no problem. He gives it to the other guy. The deputy guy apologizes to us. And they're like, we're so sorry. And nobody looked me in the eye, and then we left. It was the fucking weirdest thing in the world, dude. Next day, school gets started. I was joking. I'm like, in this hilarious plot twist, our secular progressive school in Afghanistan would not have been possible without the generosity of the Taliban.
You're like, however, we are short of $100, so there will be no pencils this year.
Correct.
Wait, that was the pencil
No
money.
wood for the wood stove this year.
Wow.
So, dude, after that, I was like, that sucked. I want to go home.
You were soured.
I was just like, that was just shitty. And the further away I get from it, like the less scary it sounds and feels
you're not
to me.
feeling it.
I don't know how it feels to everybody listening, but like it was super scary in the moment. And dude, we had to do that drive back. There's only one way to get back. So we have to pass that checkpoint again. We have to drive through the tunnel again. And now we're just chilling in Mazar-i-Sharif for 2 days. We go to this Blue Mosque, which is this UNESCO heritage site. Wow. But I'm just thinking about the looming prospect of this drive. I'm like, just get me back to the village where we're starting the school. I felt safe there. Like, I just want to go back, and then I want to go home. It's beautiful. They made the point that since...
This one?
No. I think this looks like Turkey.
Maybe.
Yeah. Look up Blue Mosque Mazar. It was kind of not looking its
Mazar.
best because this is it.
Wow.
Since there was so many sanctions and stuff, it was just like dirty.
UNESCO didn't really get...
It didn't look as nice as that, but it was cool.
it's a real pigeon. I thought that was... I thought that was
Pigeon
pistachio.
statue.
Yeah. Was it hot there?
Mazar's hot,
Yeah.
Because it's low altitude. Kabul is not. Kabul's like 8,000. I think Kabul maybe 6,500 feet. I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like Arizona weather if you're at high altitude. Like
Oh, right.
if you're in
right.
like northern Arizona, it's like hot in the day, cool at night, dusty, dry.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was sick. But anyway, just scared of this drive home the whole time.
Damn.
Yeah. So
How many days were you there for?
in Afghanistan, I want to say 8 nights.
Do you, when you're filming this stuff, does any part of you go, hey, let's put this away, experience it for a little bit, and then once we figure out what to film, then we'll pull the shit out? Or are you just like, as you go, going like, get this, get this, get this?
I'm in a constant state of attempting to balance the two things.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I know you're filming something for a thing, but everyone has the same problem. You're filming stuff for your friends back home.
Well-
everyone has this problem of like,
Yeah.
how much memories do I make? How many pictures do I take?
Right. And so it's interesting because I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm trying to construct this story where
Yeah.
there is no story. And I don't want to plan it too much because I don't want to ruin the experience. So I'm like, I'm going to sort of allow the story to
Right.
unfold. If we get nothing, no one's going to fucking watch this. I mean, dude, like I put this out as a 5-part series and it got very, very few people watch it.
What's it called? Where is
It's
it?
called Places You Can Go Afghanistan. I re-released it on my channel and a couple of weeks ago. It has like 7,000 views, but the original one did okay. But let's see what pops up. Places You Can Go Afghanistan. Oh, that's great. Nice SEO. Just put Giulio, yeah. Yeah. So this is the series, but there's like
Curiosity.
there's the full like
What a fucking good site for a goddamn intro.
yeah, dude.
Look how gorgeous that is.
Sick, right?
How pretty was it all there?
It was fucking gorgeous, bro. So anyway, yeah, I'll send you the link of the full video because I want that one to sort of pop off. But this is like
What city is this?
this is Dubai.
Oh, interesting.
This is before we left.
Right on the river there.
And this sort of ends with the school thing, actually, which it might be a good thing to go to, theoretically, if we're going to talk about that next. So the idea for the school came from this. We visited a school that's in a cave,
Yeah.
and it was hard to hear these kids be like, we want to be a doctor when we grow up. And it's like, you're not going to be able to do that, bro. Look at this girl, bro. This girl could be a model.
Why'd you bleep her out? She'll be in trouble.
She ended up fleeing the country.
Wow.
They told me I
They
needed to
asked me
leave.
these really profound questions on the spot. I wish that I'd prepared for these. Like, I want to give good answers to these, you know? So I hope I
What
did.
they ask you?
They're like, what do you have advice for us? Where would you like to go? I forget exactly, but like shit like that. Like, just like really thoughtful questions. And I think maybe they are used to this. I'm sure they have visitors and people would donate and stuff. So I go to this school. It feels kind of heavy, but also you don't want to be condescending. Like,
Right.
just because it seems like they must have it so tough. That is worse than just treating them the same as people you know.
Imagine somebody coming to this happens in New York all the time. Actually, your friends come to visit you. You're in the nicest apartment you've ever been in, and they're like, "Ugh,
Yeah,
where's the
exactly.
kitchen? You just walk through that kitchen. That's not an actual room." And you're like, "Come on, man.
How much do you pay?
I was happy about myself." Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
How much do you
totally.
pay?
But here, I mean, dude, like right as we had kind of gotten there, they had made this rule about the girls can't go to school past a certain age and all this shit. So it's just
Really?
like- yeah, which is just so fucked up. And they think that it's like chivalrous. They're like, we love women. Like, that's why we don't want them to have to do anything.
Oh, interesting.
What, guys, this is backward. I'm sorry. So anyway, we have this whole experience and it was so nice. And a guy I know had given me some money to sort of hand out to people, which is just sort of a more difficult thing to do than it sounds. Because if you give money to someone, everyone's going to want money. So you need to be kind of careful how you give it, where you give it, whatever. And I find out how much these teachers make. And it's not a lot. It's like $100 a month. And it's like it's like a decent wage. And I was like, oh shit. Like, do you know any teachers? And the guy's like, yeah. And I was like, is there places for the kids here to go to school? And he's like, not really. And also the parents like don't care. So they like don't think to send it. But if we were to go and be like, hey, you should send the kids, they would. And I was like, okay. And I was like, is there a place that we could do it? And they're like, yeah, you could just do it here. There's no red tape in Afghanistan. You just go use the school building. And they're like, well,
Just use this as...
You could just use the school building that's already there. We've since rebuilt it. And now all the visitors who visit my guide donate to it. So it's become this like nice thing where I'm also paying the salaries of all the teachers.
How much does it cost to keep a school going? Like,
So It's $100 per teacher.
Per what month?
Per month. We have 5 teachers. I pay this guy, it's 6 teachers. We hired another teacher for this school because that lady left.
Yeah.
So we hired first someone for this. And then we pay the guide a sort of admin fee for bringing the money.
These little girls got adult face.
I know, dude. Look how cute these kids are. So anyway, it's a bummer. And also,
you started a fucking school?
Dude, you go to a place and you think that you're like, oh, they're used to this. They're like from there. They're used to it, which is wrong.
Yeah.
Nobody is used to this. So anyway.
They're not used to it.
No, bro. Like they want to go to school and they have like a nice attitude about it. But like with the proper infrastructure and the proper governance or whatever, all people theoretically have a good shot, which is why it's such a bummer that most of the world lives in fucking under corrupt governments.
Yeah.
So anyway, we end up starting it, but dude, look at this. This is so nice. It really ended up coming together. I had this like really nice meeting where we met all the guys and
Which guys? From the school?
So we interviewed all the teachers. There's male and female teachers.
Is that totally allowed? Female
yeah.
teachers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Female teachers allowed. The woman thing is like, you can have jobs like that, like a teacher, doctor. If you just travel between provinces, you need a chaperone, which is ridiculous.
Somebody told me in Syria that they got, similar, not the same, but they get real weird if you and just like your other hostile friend is like gonna hang out in your place. You're like, no. Why?
Yeah.
Don't do that. You're not married. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And so traveling girlfriends and boyfriends are like, what do you mean you're not married? Why are you in a room together?
Syria is a modern country too. That's the thing that's weird about that.
Wow.
Iraq was like that too. My guides were like, yeah, we had to get married because like it was weird that we were sneaking off to Kurdistan to like spend the weekend together in a hotel. Like,
wow.
So anyway, and I don't want this to seem too like virtue. Actually, yeah. Fuck.
What?
I don't want this to seem too like virtue signally.
To what?
Just
about
like
about the school?
we're trying to like get press for the school and stuff. So like,
Well, that's okay. That's kind of cool.
I'll just pull it up. But anyway, it ended up being like a really nice. So we meet with these teachers. We hire them. I spend the whole day with these guys. It was super fun. And we're discussing
all the money you're sending to school, you could be spending on YouTube Premium.
Right. I know. Shit. Okay, so let's go here to the end. So we have this full day with these guys. We discuss how it's going to work. We discuss who's going to be who. We sit and we have this whole like tribunal. Basically, it felt like some Game of Thrones type shit.
Always tea, huh?
Yeah, always tea.
Always with the tea.
Always tea, and always on like a blanket.
How was the tea?
Great. Yeah, really good actually. And this is in the middle of like an apple field, and like apples grow. The apples that you'd like eat at the store grow naturally there.
Wow.
And are delicious. And anyway, so at the end here, like within a couple weeks, this is what ends up happening with the school, which is super fucking sick. And it's nice when we get these updates.
How the fuck you start a school?
Dude, the thing is, I've never done this anymore before. I have no charity background, and what it showed me is just like with ever so slight amount of effort, it's not that hard to do some shit like this. So this is like the sort of final product here of the school, and it ended up being like such a great thing. These are all the kids.
Oh my God, they're like being lined up to get shot.
Okay,
now they're clapping. It's
that
better.
yard
now it's
looks
clapping.
like.
Yeah, it's seen some stuff.
Right? It's just like a nice thing.
Whoa.
Right? These cute kids, bro. It's very rewarding.
So now they're all in a fucking school in some small town.
Yeah. And I think there was another school, like, you know what I mean? It's just like adding to the existing infrastructure. People on the right, bro, those are housewives who go to the school. They're not supposed to.
They're just learning
how to read.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the no red tape, so you can just be like, start it. There's like there, just do whatever you want.
So we had to get a permit
Yeah.
from the we had to get a permit
Can
from
they
the
pronounce
Taliban.
your name?
Yeah, Mr. Giulio.
They can say the J?
Yeah. They taught them how to do it. This is them
Mr. Giulio?
doing their little lessons. So anyway, really nice thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and yeah, man, I'm very proud of it. It's been
How long did it take you to get that together?
So
I mean, you were only there for
I know
a couple weeks.
it was quick. So anyway, like, you know, it almost sounds too good to be true, right? So it's like, all right, accountability, this and that. Like, they still are sending videos. It's the same people in all the videos. Like, there's no reason for me to think that it's not going well. And I had a neutral third party visit the school recently.
Okay.
Who listens to my pod, who like does my itineraries.
Yeah.
He went. He's like, dude, looks like it's going pretty fucking well.
Wow.
So that's sick. So anyway, it wasn't that hard, dude. We just like picked the people, and then I was going back and forth with the guy. Now, the thing that was hard, we had a legal thing, like a legal corporate lab, look over all of our stuff to make sure we weren't violating any international laws and stuff.
Who chose the curriculum?
We did. We sat and we talked at this sort of lunch.
And did they tell you like, oh, you actually can't? No, that book won't never go. You can't do that here.
So it wasn't as specific as the book itself. It was just sort of like broadly what would be taught, and that it wouldn't be a religious school.
And they said they're okay. That's fine.
Yeah, they're like, no, the kids like need to learn how to fucking read and shit.
Read and
do whatever. If they're gonna have any hope of doing anything, they need to like have decent school.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, correct.
Right.
Yeah, but again, like for that like preconceived notions idea, it doesn't go with that. The preconceived notion is like, no one can be educated. But
right.
But that doesn't make sense. So like, what do you mean we're gonna be a country? We need like dams built. We need to know some math.
No, dude, totally. And I think that's part of why it's fine. I forget, like, so yeah, we have a permit, official permit, and the Taliban are different in the different areas too. So in this particular area, some of the people who we knew the Taliban people, blah, 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 made it easier to get all this stuff off the ground. And as long as the money is being sent to non-sanctioned individuals,
yeah,
it's no problem.
Damn.
So we background checked everybody who worked there. We background checked the guide. We background checked blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so still going, man. And we raised a good amount of money just from a couple of Instagram stories. Yeah, and I like linked up with a couple of people who've been helping. And it's been sort of like, I wouldn't call it a lot of work, but there is responsibility. Like I need to send the money to them. Like I actually need to send it to the guy today. So
it's interesting how you're right. They do look different. They looked white, looked Asian.
Yeah, I have that video too, which is like we took like,
how fuck old is this kid?
I know, dude.
This kid's
That's
fucking
a tiny
one.
ass kid. Dude, you'd see a kid like that ripping a Red Bull.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Wow. Was there like, wow. And the food was just like Middle East with a lot of breads?
A lot of good bread, a lot of rice, chicken, lamb.
Lamb, dude.
Dude, and some of the nature was super sick too. Like, aside from all this kind of stuff, like beautiful nature. Also, I got pretty baked one day. This one dude got me super high.
What was it? Hash? Mm-hmm. Wow. Hash is legal there?
Like it's not illegal, but I think like
hashish, do they call it?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, you can smoke it. And this one dude was kind of a burnout. And
nice.
He got me super baked.
Like in my country, you rule.
Yeah, right, exactly. And he's like, this stuff's super strong. And I just got like super high and paranoid. I was like, this was a mistake. But yeah, and then we went to this like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life, like this giant sort of like crater lake.
Yeah.
That's just like, it's called Bandi Amir.
Do you have pictures of that?
I do, yeah.
Oh.
Let's go to the smoking session with this dude right into
look at that. Look at the
serene
mountains
environment,
behind you.
got super high.
You're fucked up there?
Dude, blazed. Because, I'm leaning into it. I normally would not be smoking like that in the middle of the day.
But also, if somebody offers you something, don't you feel kind of like, I have to?
Yeah. Unless it's going to, like, fuck you up.
Yeah. When I was in Egypt and I was waiting for a bus somewhere, and I'm just kind of like waiting, and the bus driver guy sees me, and he's just like, cigarette? And I was not smoking at the time, and I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I can't be like, nah, dude, I don't want to get hooked again.
Absolutely. When in Egypt, bro. Fucking smoke a heater.
Smoking a fucking...
Yeah, so this is like... I took this from like a music video that's about it, but there's like actual footage coming. Look at that, dude.
Damn.
Right?
How long was the hike to get up there? Wow.
Not too... We pretty much like drove up.
Crater Lake.
Yeah, I think sick, right? I don't know why it's so slow with the whatever, but
no one ever, you were never like, besides that checkpoint, never got like robbed, pickpocketed, anything like that?
No, never, bro. That kind of shit doesn't happen.
Seinfeld's in this?
That kind of shit doesn't happen in these places.
It does not.
No. That's, dude, to me...
Yeah, it's like, I guess the good thing about religious fanaticism is like, religion's going to run it.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's going to steal from you. Everyone's going to invite you over. So there's the political component where the worst case scenario of that is worse than getting your iPhone stolen. But you will get your iPhone stolen if you're walking around keto with baggy pants.
Right.
That shit will never happen to you here. Maybe in Kabul, maybe, but like...
Right, no one's going to look at you weird for holding hands with a girl in Quito. But,
right.
But they're going to steal your iPad.
Correct.
Right.
And here, like, yeah, bro, you don't have to worry. People are super nice and they're super innocent. You don't have to worry about that kind of shit in general. I find, in a lot of the Middle East.
So you want to say what you felt about the head coverings?
Oh, yeah.
That was really interesting.
That was cool for sure. Yeah, it was interesting because the rule is that you have to wear a head cover, and there's like all these like fully covered.
We have all heard that.
Yeah, and
women
there's
have
signs
to cover
everywhere.
up head to toe with a big fucking knapsack.
Yep,
They're
with
pretty
the
much wearing a
full
duffel
thing,
bag.
which is really, it's jarring to see it when you see it a lot. But dude, in the city, and depending on where you were, not everybody was doing it. And you'd see these women walking right past the Taliban, face open, nothing. So a lot of it's like rhetorical. Like they say that, but then they don't enforce it because they're like, women are like, we're not wearing a fucking face covering. And they're like, okay, what are we going to do?
Wow.
We'll let you have this one in good faith since we're trying to be the government now and get people to like us.
So they're just like, it's cool. This is a big city.
Yeah. And but this, dude, the people of Afghanistan are scared of the Taliban too. So when they at first became the government, people were like really freaked out because they weren't sure like what was going to happen.
Yeah, how bad are they going to be?
But like, aside from the obvious things, like it's so poor there because of all the sanctions and all the lack of access to blah 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 blah. Nice. I love it. So all that shit. But yeah, like as far as stuff like that, like they are not as bad as people thought, but still the Taliban are still bad.
Still bad.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't make them cover up in the big city. That's so interesting.
Wait, do you want me to play that?
Yeah, they would just chill with it.
Yeah, dude. They're just like, yeah, the Taliban are just kind of like, all right, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's like, it's so hard to, like, I saw this guy in Montreal once, religious Jewish. I wouldn't say rabbi, but certainly could pass.
Okay. Like
and
Orthodox?
letting out from his car a big fat black hooker. and it's just like, what? And you're like, yeah, not everyone's a good anything.
Totally.
Everyone's
I've heard about this
trying
in
their
Brooklyn
best.
too.
Oh yeah, they love black hookers. and it's like, well, yeah, they're not doing it right. Or like, I don't know, I'm not that fanatic.
Dude, totally.
Still got to get a black hooker once in a while. Not a lot of flat black chicks in the Orthodox Jewish community.
Everybody's human, bro.
So this is just you seeing the.
So anyway, this is just sort of like, I'm trying to repurpose all this stuff to try to get people to watch it. So I'm just kind of like picking whatever. But yeah, this is interesting. So there's all these signs like that.
A lot of women not covered.
But the women are just not covered.
Dude,
up.
you got a bunch of outfits.
Yeah. I got like.
You still have these?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
And when I first got back, bro, I'd throw them on. They're super comfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, do you not wear underwear? Does it just free flow?
No, you do.
Okay.
And dude, it's super fucking comfortable. Yeah, like when I was back, I would like get hammered on my couch and like throw this on. And, like,
I like the top of that yarmulke looks like a mosque.
It's sick,
Like
right?
the front,
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
it goes up.
Like ornament. Yeah, that's true. Consistency with the design.
Good for the ladies. Wow, so they don't make it. Yeah, like that's nothing.
Ton of chicks not wearing it. I'm calling them chicks, dude. But yeah, like.
She's not bad.
Yeah, dude. It's,
I mean, yeah, she may as well be wearing a covering.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a lot of tooth gone.
Depends where
And then
you
that's
are.
a full fucking duffel
Full
bag.
ass fucking.
And then right behind her, some skank
Yep.
showing off her nose like a fucking like she's flaunting it. Right, so that's official policy, and then there's actual policy.
Official policy, and then what's enforced.
So in Ecuador, they had the official. It's one of the only countries, if not the only one, where the rights of environment are protected in the Constitution.
Interesting.
And we were like, "Wow, that's so cool." We asked somebody there, and they just started laughing. Like, is that not part of the Constitution? And he was like, "Yeah, it's part of the Constitution, but like we're constantly fracking and doing everything."
Right.
Like,
As he throws a
is it
soda
your
can
Constitution? You
into a
can't
lake.
spy on Americans.
Right,
and
right,
like,
right,
yeah, I'm
right.
like, so like, what are you talking about?
Right. That's funny. No, it
Wow.
totally makes sense.
Damn.
Yeah, there was some good. I appreciate you helping me with that trip, dude. There was like good day trips and shit.
In Ecuador.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
be back on to do that one. So you got to come back, buddy.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That was so fucking sick.
I
What a
hope it's
cool
interesting.
trip to Afghanistan. Nobody goes there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And, and I will say this too.
Yeah.
If anybody here has listened and be like, wow, like this sounds like something I want to do. The Taliban are like way better about visitors. There's some conflict in my brain about like visiting. Am I somehow being like a traitor by doing that? But like, I have nothing to do with anything.
With the
and either
yeah.
do the normal ass fucking people there. There's no reason why I can't go and enjoy the customs that predate any sort of like disputes that are going on, and enjoy people and hang out. Like, this has nothing to do with sides to me.
Yeah. And also, like, someone would come up to Michelle Wolf for performing in like Dubai, UAE, or somewhere. I don't know, whatever. And she's like, with the female rights, and she goes, "Wouldn't it be cool though to show them what an actual like free female could be?
Yeah.
Should I not show them that version of womanhood?" And she's like, "Fuck off." She was just like, "Eat a dick. I'm going to fucking perform."
Dude, 100% agreed, and I always land there as well. But this
and you're curious.
This very much so. This is becoming an easier trip to take. Like, I'm seeing on some of the accounts of people who I follow who are over there. Like, Taliban now take photos of people. They didn't used to do that. They're getting a little bit more used to it, so it's easier to do this trip than it used to be if you wanted to. Which I'm not recommending it, but there are places that I do recommend. Iraq, fully recommend that as a vacation.
Wow. Oh, you got to come back for that one.
Yeah. That's like a vacation, bro.
That's a vacation.
That's a vacation. I swear. I mean that, and I'm not just being this guy. You'd see if you went vacation. But yeah, Afghanistan, it's a little more of an adventure, but very doable if you want to do it.
It's such a cool place to have been. Does any part of you, while you're somewhere, okay, so listen, I'm skiing in Vail. I'm like, it's fun, right? Mm-hmm. And then my brother took me we were going to go to Zermatt in Switzerland. And he was like, "Hey, no snow. Let's shift. Let's go to Livigno." And it was like, this is cool to be skiing in Livigno. Yeah. It's cooler than Vail. Right. So when you're in Afghanistan, how much of you goes, this is cool?
Dude, like, very much so. This is sick. Great experience. But I try not to get too desensitized because I still enjoy Brussels. You know what I mean? I truly, not to sound like a fucking really obnoxious, positive person, because I'm definitely not that. But I really do try my best to enjoy every single place that I go, even if it's not obvious what the place has to offer. Because if you pay attention, every place does something well. Yeah. Even if you're in fucking Indiana. You know what I mean? Like every place
true. Facts.
Has a thing that they do and that they offer that's different than anywhere you've ever been. So you just have to be willing to pay attention. So I do feel that way about Afghanistan, but it doesn't make me not want to go to Tokyo. Right. I still want to go to Tokyo. I still want to go to St. Bart's. I still want to go to all these places.
Well, I got two more questions for you. What in general? Well, it's two. I'll let you think about the first one while I ask you the second one. Okay. Travel tips, just in general. Like, I would always do this. Also, where do you want to, like, what's on your like horizon for next? Like, what, just a country or two that like I definitely want to hit that.
Oh, cool.
And then also, before we get to either one of those, what would you tell somebody headed to Afghanistan? Oh, make sure to do this or stay away from this. Like some advice.
Interesting. I would say you'll probably have a better experience if you fly on like a quote reputable airline. Okay. Just for peace of mind. I mean, you'd probably make that decision by default, so there's no reason to. Any sort of like random. So okay, you need a guide. You need a guide. Obviously, nobody listening is probably even going to go at all, and probably would never consider going without a guide. But you need a guide, or you hang out with the Taliban the entire day.
Well, yeah, but my thing is, that guy, I was like, I don't want to be a tour group guy, but a guide is different than a tour group guy.
That's the beauty of this. You pay the same price you'd pay for a group to have a solo guide. Right. I was not with a group. Right. You can't make a video with a group. I've tried before. It's impossible.
Because everyone's like, come on.
You're cringe. You're fucking sneaking off. It sucks. It's such a vibe killer. So you need the guide, and you can go in small groups if you want. It'll make it less expensive, but it's the same amount you'd spend on a big vacation. I mean, depending on what you're doing. If you're going to go take an international vacation, this falls in the same sort of price range. Yeah. So yeah, if you're going there, go with the guide. Ask me before you go, because I'll give you a recommendation, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. Fortunately,
would you tell them like, "Hey, pack heavy and light because it's cold and warm"?
Check the forecast. I would say don't go during the winter because it's like a heavy winter, heavy snow. Like, definitely, try to go during. The best time to go is probably during the fall, which is when I went. It's like desert weather. It's like gets really hot in the afternoon. It's cool at night. It's like Utah. Nice. Looks like Utah too, to be honest. Wow. And then as far as travel tips in general, assemble your travel toiletries over time, because you never need to feel like you're that far away from home. You know how unpleasant it is when you're like, I don't have my moisturizer. I don't have my toothpaste. I don't have whatever. You can curate all that stuff for yourself. And it's worth it to do.
What do you mean?
So like every single thing you have at your house that you can just default go to, if you assemble travel versions of that over time, you'll have everything you need always.
Oh, so you just bring your travel toiletries thing. You don't go like, oh, fuck, I forgot to put my toothpaste in. It's already in there.
My travel toiletries are always assembled.
Wow,
Yeah.
smart. It's ready to go.
That
Grab
to
it and
me,
go.
because I always feel at home on the go.
Yeah.
And even more so because I'm not bogged down by the fucking bullshit protocol of my life. I can't possibly sit at my desk because I'm gone. I'm on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Somehow that like frees me up. What I do, I like bog my day down thinking I need to do more than I actually need to do. And I decide it's going to take me 7 hours to do something. And then it doesn't. Or then I think I need to be doing other productive things. When I'm on the go, I feel light. And I feel like I can look back at my life or whatever. So I want to curate an environment where I don't feel homesick when I'm gone.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Have your, okay, nice. And now what else? Where do you want to go?
Okay. So it depends on what you mean by that. I think like from a where do I want to go?
What's calling you?
What's calling Iran?
Iran, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
when she said Iran and talked about how beautiful the mountains were and stuff, and she goes, there's only a couple regions, probably along the border here, but I don't know. But she's like, the mountains were sick. She goes, you didn't have to wear a hijab except in a few places.
Yeah.
Even for a girl, for a Swedish girl, she was like said it was fine.
That's great. Yeah.
But she goes, as an American, you need a chaperone wherever you go.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of like looseness with that, but you need a registered tour person.
Right.
As an American. I'm working on getting my Italian passport. I'm hoping that happens at some point, in which case that trip becomes more approachable. It's easier to get the visa, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, dude, it's a developed country. They have the biggest mall in the world's in Iran.
Really?
Like it's bougie. Like it to some degree. Like you can seek out a bougie experience in Iran. You can't really do that in Afghanistan. Wow. That's just interesting to me. So like Iran is definitely up there. I would say that Central Asia in general, like these countries, Tajikistan sounds super interesting.
Yeah.
All of them actually. Turkmenistan is like weird and interesting.
I started learning Russian a little bit to go to Tajikistan, and then it was like, this is so hard. I should just go Spanish. What am I doing to use in like a maybe trip to take once?
Did you go?
No, but when I was in Myanmar, everyone was talking at a hostel about like places to go, and some lady was just like, the stands, and I think Tajikistan in general, she was like, it's uncharted, but it's still like outgoing. And one of them is like, no, you'll get taken. And the other one's like so friendly.
Which is the taken?
I don't know. I got to look more.
I think Tajikistan is one of the ones who actually, and I'm correct me if you know that I'm wrong, but I don't think that they speak as much Russian there. I think they speak Tajik, which is kind of more like Farsi.
Interesting. Maybe it's I don't know.
Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, Russian will help a lot. I think Kyrgyzstan too. I don't really know what's up with Turkmenistan.
Interesting.
Turkmenistan's like North Korea. It's like impossible to go. Big, beautiful cities. There's no one there.
Oh, really?
It's super weird.
Turkmenistan?
Yeah, interests me a lot for sure.
Ashgabat.
Yeah, Ashgabat is like the marble city or something they call it. It's like gorgeous, huge, whatever.
Cool.
There's just like nothing there. So that sounds interesting to me. I'd also like to do some sort of like Buddhism thing somewhere in Southeast Asia maybe, or in Korea.
Buddy, right here. So Buddhist.
You've been there?
Yeah.
You mentioned it before. What was it like?
It's very Buddhist.
Very. So much so that they're literally killing the Muslims.
Yeah.
Just very sad.
They said they either Hitler Buddha or Nazi Buddha. One of their main higher ups was just like, again, not everybody's the most ideal. You're not supposed to step on a fly, but they're like, yeah, but the Muslims gotta fucking go.
Right. It's like
that fly you protect, but not one of these fucking Muslims. You're like, what? You're Buddhist.
Brutal. Where'd you go?
So you can't go everywhere. This whole northern region, there's one place you can go, but you can't get out of your train. It's a 10-hour train to get. You can't get out as a foreigner. Once you get there, it's a little like almost like a embassy. Like along these grounds, you can go out. Anywhere else, no. But that's just, you wouldn't go there anywhere.
They don't want you to see
all these areas.
They don't want you to see the ethnic cleansing.
But people are, I mean, it's only in regions. But but that region, right? They don't want you to see it. You can't get a motorized vehicle, only electric.
Damn.
Or bike, and then. But since it's so Buddhist in a real way, like people are actively trying to help you.
That's really nice.
Like it's like, this is a real big cool thing for me if I can just help you get where you're going. and they're not trying to take advantage.
100%, and it makes it an experience so much better.
Yeah.
Because when you get greeted by the like fucking gringos, or like even at parts of Africa, like I haven't really traveled all over, but like I gather that a lot of some of these countries can be like that, not hospitable, and people are just like shaking you down constantly. Like that gets old.
Yeah. We got off in a place we weren't supposed to be, sort of. We're like, let's stay the night, let's try. And some guy was like, where you headed? We're like, to this place. No, we're fine. Leave us alone. Still like got that xenophobia. Like, I know you're trying to get over on me. And and he's like, I can take you guys. I've got a motorcycle. I can take one of you and then take another one. It's like 1.5 miles. And I can just like, ferry you guys. We're like, what do you want, man? Like, what are you up to something?
Right.
And he goes, all right, you got me. I was trying to practice my English.
Dude, if you done that as a bit, that's funny as fuck.
It was great. I was great. Yeah, all right, I gotta stop assuming things.
That reminds me of something. Iraq, and I know you want to do an episode about this, but this is like a fun thing. The first night I was there, our guides were like, sorry, we can't meet you till tomorrow. So we're just like alone in Iraq for 24 hours, which was completely fine. But like, again, you don't want like curveballs the day you arrive in Iraq.
No, you don't.
So anyway, they're like, yeah, you'll be fine, like whatever. So we feel kind of comfortable at the hotel. We're going to go to dinner. They're like, okay. They're like, we'll call you a taxi. Use this number to like call the taxi when you come back. We're like, okay. So we go to dinner. We have a great time. Whatever. Nobody speaks English, but we're pointing. We're eating. Have a great meal. Then we like somehow can't figure out the taxi. So we go to just hail a cab. So there's marked cabs. Yeah. So we're kind of like, and then just this random car pulls up and we're like, oh no, dude. And it's like a Toyota Camry. The dude just kind of looks like dirty and little and like, I don't know. That's rude to profile somebody, but
Yeah.
He's like, get in. And we're like, fuck. So we show him a picture of the hotel and we're just sitting there like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And then he drops us off at the hotel and we're like, oh, thanks. We're like, how much do we owe you? He's like, no, don't worry. He's like, it's free. Please, welcome.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Nobody let you pay for anything there, dude. It was like that the whole trip.
Wow.
I know. I was like, that's wild. That was a really nice experience.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Giulio Gallarotti, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me, dude.
You got to come back on for sure.
Yeah, this was cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Dude, it's a treat to get to talk about this stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so what Rolf says is like when you get home, he goes, you're going to be met with two people. You probably experienced this. We're going to wrap this up anyway. But like he goes, you have this amazing kind of life-changing experience or just wild for sure. And someone's like, how was you? Like, oh my God, it was so cool. I went to a monastery in the mountains and they go, oh yeah, I've been to a monastery. Hey, what you see the dune yet? And you're like, oh really? You're just going to change the subject on me.
Yeah.
This guy's is so much cooler than anything you've done this week.
Dude, I how much I relate to that is crazy. And I kind of understand it. But yeah, I don't want to be annoying.
Yeah, you're like, all right, if you're not asking, I'm not going to push.
Now that I've been so many places, like I have things that I can add and I try to be sparing with that because I don't want to be annoying.
Right.
I don't want to have something better to say than you have to say.
But this podcast is like, I want to hear it.
Exactly, which is so nice.
Yeah.
And dude, it makes me feel bad for people who've been to war, to be honest. They come back from war and like, not only does nobody understand what they've been through and they probably don't even want to talk about it, but like how little they understand must be really difficult.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of fucks me up thinking about it. But, yeah, man, I really love traveling to a fault, and I intend to continue letting her rip.
Yeah, nice. All right.
Good shit.
All right.
Thanks, man.
How about, buddy? Thanks.
Good.
Hi guys, well that's the episode. As always, I like to avail myself, get it, pun, of interesting places to shoot. Oh shit, this was a mistake. I can already tell you this is a mistake. This is dangerous. If you liked Giulio, please check out his special On the Map at youtube.com/@notjulio. Guys, he's the Anthony Bourdain of stand-up comedy. I'm not joking. You think it's me? It's not. It's Giulio. He goes to way wilder places than me, does way wilder and more dangerous things. If you want to see him back, listen, he's coming back either way. But if you want to incentivize him to come back sooner, click on his special On the Map. Shit, how do I make this jump? @notjulio. Shit. Ugh. And tell him you heard about his special from this. Tell him your favorite joke, but also tell him you were sent here straight from Afghanistan. No, that's all mogul. That's all mogul. How do I make this turn? Oh, Jerry. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh. 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 We're safe. Guys, I have a couple big announcements. One, if you're looking to enter for the trip around the world, it's not really around the world. It's either Southeast Asia or South America. Maybe it's around the world. Maybe that would be more fun. If you're a guy or a girl who's interested in going, please send a DM to @Be Trippin Pod on Instagram or Be Trippin Gmail account. It might be Be Trippin Pod Gmail account too. Please put it up. Tell Heather and Caitlin why you want it to be you, what time you have, why you want to travel, what you're hoping to get out of this. By the way, you're going to do it my way. That's the deal. You're going to leave your phone behind. You're going to lock yourself out of all social media and your email, and you're going to be off the grid. You're going to make friends. That's the way I want you to do it. That's the way I think you'll get the most out of it. Whoa. Oh, fucking shit. Yeah, why is it better light here? No. Oh, that's a nice shot. That's it. We're going to hopefully choose by April and then send you off in May. Today's episode is edited by, what is this? Little Wonderland by Alan Caffey. Woo! Produced by Your Mom's House Network. I can hit this. Send it. Oh. Send it. Oh. 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 And now I've got a massive announcement. That's not now, but it's coming next week. Adam Rowe is next week talking about India. Fucking great bike trip in India. Really good episode. As you know by now, different experiences, different places. It is not Duncan Trussell's spiritual journey in India. No, it's Adam Rowe's disgusting journey. But I have a massive, massive, massive announcement for any stand-up comedy fan, for every fan of stand-up comedy and the history thereof. There will be a pre-sale announced for something on Monday's episode. Pre-sale will start on Wednesday. You want to get the first codes for that. It might be on Tuesday, to be honest. We'll find out this coming Monday when the pre-sale is. And that's it. All I can tell you is that's a hint. Full announcement. That's straight Cliff. Full announcement next week. But you want to tune in for that. Anyone who's been a fan of mine for a long time, anyone who's a fan of justice. Fuck. It's a big announcement. Until the next week, Adam Rowe. We got a bunch of good ones. North Korea. We got North Korea coming with Michael Malice. Dude, it's just so many. Please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. And, fuck. Fuck. Oh, God damn it. Fuck. And I told him, by the way, what do you think of this new jacket? I had to buy a new one because fucking North Face is bullshit. I said the zipper's broken. Can you fix it? They go, yeah, sure, but you got to bring it in. I'm like, can I just fix it myself? No. They said, no, if you do it yourself, the fucking warranty is lifted. So I sent it in. I took it all the way out to where the fucking Cap City is in Austin, dropped it off. They shipped it straight back to me, these fucking cunts, idiots. They shipped it straight back to me instead of to the fucking repair. So then I get it a month later. I'm on the road. God, I like the jacket too. I get it back a month later. Let's go skiing. And then what do? They say, oh, wait, I was like, it's not repaired. And they go, oh, yeah, sorry, it's an error by the employee. I was like, okay, your employee though, right? And they go, yeah, our employee. I'm like, okay, so can you fix it? And they go, yeah, send it in. I'm like, all right, how long does this take? It's just a zipper. And they go, yeah, it's just a zipper. Should be no time, 2 weeks. So I mail it in. A fucking month passes. Nothing. They stop responding to emails. 2 different threads I'm on. They just keep saying, send it back. We'll send you a fucking shipping label. You sent me the fucking shipping label. And now it's fucking March. Fucking North Face. I'm not recording anymore. And now it's fucking March, I still don't have it back, and then you won't even respond to emails. So that's fucked. Get fucked, North Face. You screwed me. You screwed me royally. I had to go through my whole fucking winter with this, and then I had to buy this. Now I'm going to return it. And it's going to be ruined. I'm into materials. I'm materials. I don't want to waste things. And North Face made me waste stuff. Until next week, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks, Giulio. Everyone subscribe to his stuff. Oh, and did you see me on the road? Schaumburg, Illinois. This week, show added on Thursday with Adrian Appalucci. Tabernacle in March in Atlanta. Then Portland, March 16th. Tabernacle is March 15th. March 16th in Portland, show was added. Both those shows with Adrian Appalucci, The Dark Queen. And then, I got to finish this. The Vancouver, Seattle, Edmonton, Calgary, all the Canadian dates have a show added because they're all sold out. San Jose, I don't know what else is there, guys. Orlando's almost gone. No shows will be added there. Well, second show's already added, and then Fort Lauderdale. That's it. Let's go. I think I'm done. I don't know what else there is. Tampa was sick. All right, guys. Oh, also, I got recommendations of the week. The Heavy Heavy. Check out the Heavy Heavy if you've never done it. It's my new thing. I'm going to do a recommendation at the end of the week. It's a band. They like Led Zeppelin. I saw them live once in New York. It's a tiny little fucking place. They fucking rule. You got to get their album. I don't know what it's called. But I think they only have one. I had the vinyl. They signed it for me. That's how small they are. They're going to be in arenas fucking soon. So check out the Heavy Heavy. Until next week. Assalamu alaikum. Thanks to Alan Caffey for editing. Thanks for your mom's house for producing. Goodbye. And check out next week on a row for that announcement. Also, we'll start reading off some of the submissions. Not by name. Okay, goodbye.